Alright, here we go. We're going to check this out here. Youngblood. Book some of you may have heard about way back in the day. Alright, so this is the recolored initial run. 4 books, maybe 5, not entirely sure. Rescripted by Joe Casey. Obviously drawn, not redrawn, by Rob Liefeld. There are additional pages in this book, however, to wrap up the story, instead of leading you to another trade that's never going to come out. This right here was the initial take on it of, I think, just issue 1. It's an oversized edition, magazine-sized. We can take a peek at that. There are differences between the two. This is obviously much larger. This is a hardcover edition. This one here was published by Arcade Comics, essentially self-published, but does have the exact same color treatment for the pages used in here and here. Less content here, though, in this magazine size. Also, the lettering, Murat Michaels lettered this one. I don't recall who lettered this one, so the lettering is very, very different as well. Looks like the script's the same. I bookmarked it. See, I got a Cyberforce card bookmarking that one. Just to show you a decent example. And then this one is bookmarked by my old Image watch. I was given this when I was hired. It's one of those old Image collector watches. It's pretty cool. Obviously worn. Yeah, never letting that thing go. That's a lie. I will sell it. The minute someone offers me $1 million, it's yours. So here we go. You can see right here Shaft jumping there. You can see the word balloon there, the word balloon there. I didn't do a really comprehensive look at if the words are, they look very similar. It's close enough. The bounding box looks similar. And yeah, this one's lettered by Murat. You can see differences here where on the one on the left, they got the connecting words for Shaft in 2 separate balloons. And then here, he split them. But the coloring job is exactly the same. Let's just take a peek at this one here real quick, actually. I haven't looked at this thing in a bit. Pretty cool interior front cover, though. They got a dithered out version of that popular double pager, the team busting into action. Okay, so Yaki. Oh, it looks like he. Okay, no, this is still, yeah, Murat. Jimmy J. I see you, Jimmy J. President. So this is, like I said, this is the oversized edition. Huge upgrade. Huge upgrade. The original Youngblood books was digital coloring in its infancy as far as a monthly comic is concerned. I know it existed before, but to the level that Image Comics brought digital coloring, it purely did not exist. And a lot of people don't talk about that much. DC and Marvel were absolutely on the heels, on the coattails of Image Comics, trying to keep up with their most famous artist who left. All right, yeah, super cool. Yeah, Yaki carried these books. There was a lot. I'm not sure if he had rushed them or what. There was a lot going on with inconsistency with these first couple Youngblood issues. They were fun to look at, man. I'm going to tell you this: like when they were first coming out, they were super fun to look at. Really interesting. I had buddies that used to be, I mean, essentially they were Liefeld haters, and they were buying this stuff just because it was so different, you know, even though they weren't really fans of his work. I always really enjoy the kinetic energy that Rob put on a page, and, you know, obviously I was lucky enough to be hired by him as a teen and reconnect with him later and work with him on Deadpool Bad Blood, and yeah, Youngblood as well. Yeah, man, these colors are sick. Yeah, he's definitely Matt Yaki, definitely carrying this book with the colors. So I really like these. I really like this these cuts and that. Not really a popular coloring style today with the cuts. I know a lot of people prefer a lot of the you know, hand rendered, kind of almost a free-handed look, which is also super cool. But I do miss this. I know when I color my own work, I tend to work with a lot of geometric shapes, a mixture, and then I'll go in and kind of smudge out hard edges if I don't like the way it looks against an area. You know, you don't want those flat edges. Sometimes it works well, but you know, you try to play around with it on skin and fabric and stuff, and you're also trying not to overwork it at the same time. I think this is one of the pages that several of these pages were inked by Eric Larson, who didn't get credit on it, but I know that there was an issue with Rob losing some pages or something, and I think they did like a lightbox method. I think that one was actually I think the double was a McFarlane, maybe the smaller panels. Yeah, I feel like this was a McFarlane page. I'm not sure, but I know for sure. I know this is an Eric Larson page, inked page. There's a few of them in here. Yeah, something happened. I don't remember exactly what it was. Something occurred that Rob needed to be bailed out a little bit. Ah, man, this... Steve, if you're watching... Oh, man. Buddy Steve. Alright, so, I mean, we're not going to discuss this, but I'm going to point out shoulder pad, flip sides, no shoulder pad. You know, this was acceptable comics in 1992, 93. You forget what you draw. That's why it's always nice to have photocopies or printouts or even the originals. You know, throw them in a Utrecht binder. Put that sucker right next to you. You'll never forget your designs, placement of items, sizes of characters. Yeah, damn, these colors are so good. These colors stand out today too, and I think this was printed like this had to have been 10 years ago. I mean, maybe longer. 05. Wow. 05. What, 15, 16? I can't math. I just draw comics, guys. I just work here. I really like the coloring he did on this. This panel looked super cheap. In the original printing, there were no... I think the veins were added by... I think Yaki added those. I don't remember those being in there. But they used like these very stark yellows and reds to try to indicate pain and suffering and stuff. And this is just fun. Now, this looks really... I really dig that too. That's cool. Yeah, and I think when Yaki was coloring these, he might have been working over... I think Rob returned... He either was at DC on Hawk and Dove, again, or possibly back at Marvel on some Deadpool. But there was some Deadpool miniseries that came out way back. And then you get to see Yaki's takes on these classic covers here. It's a cool pinup. I think that this one here was actually a variant used later for a variant cover for the hardcover here. I know I spent way too much time on this floppy thing. All right, you get some galleries here. This isn't why we're here. We're here for the hardcover. I'm getting carried away. That's pretty sick. Yeah, this is fun. And then obviously this file here is the exact file used for this hardcover. So. Nothing. They're all saying nothing. Nothing. Alright, there's that. Alright, time to check this out. Let me move my image watch. I'm bragging. I'll put it right here. I'll let you guys stare at that. Stare at it. Alright. Oh damn, man. Am I gonna have to crack the spine? Might have to. Okay, hardcover, here it is, published by Image Comics, right there, Image Comics. This one came out after the fact of this one, some sort of sabbatical, saying, all Yaki, Matt Yaki, doing his thing. All right, and then obviously, you know, Liefeld one of comics' biggest names in the history of American comics, no doubt. Yeah, so you get to see these. Man, that's, I've always really liked this page. I think this page, the original to this, I remember there was a comic shop I went to down in, I think it was in Torrance or Redondo Beach. I have an older sister who was a model. She was part of the California pageantry down there, and she took me to a shop. And I'm pretty positive it might have been Anaheim, but I'm pretty positive I saw this original encased in glass in the middle of the store, and I think it was this. And I remember being a little confused because I don't think Image Comics was formed yet. I think that this, I'm pretty sure this piece, so I thought it was like a like an X-Force piece or something, if I remember right. It might have been a different pinup, but it was definitely Berserkers for sure. Damn, yeah, this looks cool. This would be cool to see on the shelf today. I'm going to be quite honest. Oh man, he gave him 2 left feet. All right, again, 90s tropes. All right, here we go. Okay, so that's the preview. That's the Berserker stuff. We already kind of peeked through this stuff on the other oversized. The oversized. Oh man, this video is getting wonky, isn't it? All right, we're gonna pop through this. We're gonna take a peek. Again, I'm really a big fan of these hard light dodges and hard light layered cuts. They look so good in print. I can't imagine if this was what the original book looked like when it was first coming out. Man, I think Liefeld could have just dropped the mic at that point. This would have been the best looking book on the shelf if this was the quality of colors coupled with Rob's art. So yeah, it's cool. It's interesting how much my buddies and I were simping over the original books when they were originally coming out. Hindsight is golden. Here's that double pager that was in that other one that with no words. This one has words. There you go. Lots of words. You get to introduce the Prophet. For some reason, they needed a filler page. So that's a missed opportunity. Rob could have drawn another pinup to sell. All right. Yeah, these are fun. I really love these layouts. I know there's a lot of like little shortcutty things or maybe questionable holding of weapons and so forth, but you can't deny Rob's work has always been interesting and energetic. He didn't name the studio Extreme because it wasn't. Brahma's face. That face, I think it's a cut and paste. I don't think this, yeah, I think that this was I think this is an addition. I'm pretty sure you went from this page on this side originally, and I think it flips to this double. Yeah. Unfortunately, guys, I did not pull out the original printing, which would have been kind of cool to show you. So you're just going to have to take my word for it. This is much better. All right. I feel like this was not all Rob's inks. I never, working there, I never really inquired a lot about the earlier books. We were just far too busy working on our own stuff, but there are instances where the technical aspect of the books feels a little bit cleaner, well, a lot a bit cleaner than what Rob was producing. So I wonder if Danny Mickey didn't already have him in the clutches. I do know that for a long time Rob didn't want anyone inking faces except for him. He would ink the faces and then let inkers handle the rest. With me though, He did tell me, he said, Shelby, you're the first inker that I'm allowing to do the faces in over 20 some odd years. I'm like, well, I wouldn't have it any other way. Because I do ink faces very nicely. Thank you very much. This is, okay, this is bizarre. Here, I'll point this out. I'm glad I caught this. All right, check this out. This is relettered, right? I think they had to remove the original lettering from these pages digitally, right? And the original lettering, you could see right here, this balloon actually covered Badrock. If you look right there at the head, there's an entire cut. The line art is missing from this entire section. I think on the original, and damn, you know, that would have been good if I had it out, you would see that this balloon would have been here covering Badrock's head. So, there you go. Welcome to the Praising Matt Yaki stream video. So that's all Yaki right there. Good job, buddy. Looks cool. I think they did it here too. Oh, right there too. Here we go. Right there on the hair, you can see that. You see that ghost line coming through? There's no line art here. That's not a knockout. The word balloon comes across here, and you can see it on the edge right there too. No line art, and you can actually follow this ghost balloon coming around here, and it even cuts into these speed lines. Boom. There's that curve. Balloon. So this text here was originally there. Smoke and mirrors. All right. I've always enjoyed this double pager. These are fun. All right, so we got the thwip thwip. Where's the sound effects? They didn't add it to this one. Did we even look at who lettered these? Russ Wooten. Okay, shout out to Russ. I don't know Russ. But Russ Wooten, you did a good job on the lettering. Alright, so these are issues. I don't even know what issue we're in at this point. What is this? Issue 4? Okay, there's the introduction of Die Hard. This is 4 right here. Alright, so then you get that double pager. Bam. Wham bam. Issue 4 right here. Also, so you guys know, issue 4 here, first appearance of Pitt. If you're into collecting key issues, Pitt ended up in a backup story in issue 4. And it was published before Pitt number 1, by the way. I don't know by how long. It might have been a couple of months, but it was beforehand. I think the first Pitt image published, though, was a Malibu Sun cover, I think. But, you know, collectors, they care about those first fulls, first cameos. So, yeah, you're going to get that in Youngblood number 4. That's going to be the first Pitt. This knife, dude. He doesn't even use that thing. I want to cut a steak with that knife. I'll let you know. The cool thing about this double pager here. So now, they didn't walk this page enough. This is really cramped in here, and this you got to really spread it open to even try to get. You can't even get a full look at his head. In the original printings, it's very easy because it's a floppy, and this is obviously a thicker book. But if they walk this page out a bit, you basically just bump it that way a tad. You get the full thing in print, and even when you spread it, you're not going to see a white border on the inside because it's going to seam together at the bind. Anyways, Rob drawing characters sitting. This is something, I feel like this is the first time I've ever seen this. In like a very natural, not reclusive, a natural way. She's kind of bent out, but Chapel, Shaft, and Badrock obviously, they just look like hella relaxed. It's interesting. I'm not used to seeing that. And then it's like, never mind. Really cool coloring right here too. This was brush inked right here. And I'm pretty sure Danny Mickey's already on at this point. But brush inks right here. Man, those hard lights right there. Big upgrade. Huge upgrade. The original colors on this double page spread was very lackluster. All right. Yep, there we go. A lot of hard light edges. Rob's art has always lent itself to screens and hard light rim lighting on everything. I also employ that method as part of my own personal arsenal as well because it's effective. It looks cool. It makes no sense why there's a glow right next to the shadow being cast, but it looks cool. Where are the light sources? Hashtag. Yeah, the character's fun. I like these big generic characters, you know, like all the Image guys were doing it. They were doing it. All right, so we're gonna cut through here. That's a really cool effect there on the eyes. More hard light. Yaki likes it hard. All right, these pages. No, wait. Okay, so this is the end where they kind of wrap it up, and they come in here. Badrock's been brainwashed. Here we go. Okay, so this here never happened. All right, so check it out. It goes from this issue to, I think, Team Youngblood. I think it was a Chapter 8 issue. They completely ignore that and say, no, new ending. These are newer pages. So whatever year this came out, 05 or whatnot, this is new Rob Liefeld art. That looks like, he looks like he drew himself. I know this is, what's his name? I almost said Psylocke. Anyways, forget about. Just don't listen to me. But yeah, these are new artwork. They look like. I wonder who inked these. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Adelso Corona. I think these might actually be Adelso inks. I follow Adelso. I know Adelso. I actually I try to pull as much of the cool factor from Adelso's inks myself because Adelso is a great inker. So he might have been on Hawk and Dove when he was working on these pages. Adelso did a lot of the inks on Hawk and Dove. That's why I'm thinking that. And these are really clean and splatter. Rob hates splatter, but there's a splatter effect right there. You got that corner right there with the splatter effect with the whiteout. That is not a Liefeld style choice. He tries to avoid it. I personally love splatter. I love textures. I love any effect you can get using whatever method traditionally. Have to clarify these days. All right, this is pretty sick. I do like this. So I think this was a kind of a bookend ending because they, you know, I don't think that they planned on Yaki remaster coloring an additional 30 books or whatever. So this kind of brings it to a close. It's interesting though because by this time Rob abandoned the hyper muscular look. He kind of streamlined the characters, more of like a, I would say like a Brian Hitch style. The faces obviously trademarked Rob faces, but anatomically the characters are very much played down, a little more towards realism. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, cool. Good job. Obviously, good job, Liefeld. Great job, Matt Yaki. Great job, maybe Adelso Corona. If you did the inks on this, then cool. And great job, Rob, for hiring me back in the day. Good choice. Good choice, buddy. This video is getting wonky as hell right now. Okay, we were going to take a peek at this, but I think I'm going to skip it. Rob doing his best imitation of George Perez on the original Youngblood. I'm glad Rob discovered Arthur Adams. This stuff's fun to look at. Fully colored. I don't know if this was ever produced in color before. I don't have those books. I never sought them out. More gallery stuff. You get to see it again. Recolored. And you know what? Actually, I might be wrong. I don't think this is all Yaki. No color of signature. Holler out if that's you. This here is not... This is Dan Kemp. This is Dan Kemp colors. This is not Yaki. I told you guys that was Yaki. Let's see. No signature. Can't tell you. This signature says Yaki. I'm right about that one. That one says Yaki right there on the boot. No autograph. Not even a Liefeld autograph. Youngblood promo art. I remember this in Advanced Comics. I actually might still have the book. It was an Advanced Comics ordering book, and it was the front cover, and it had a big white border around the edge. Man, this video is getting crazy. I'm going to end this soon. The color guide to Youngblood Zero. Hey, look at that. Color guide by Joe Scioto from Wildstorm. Cool. Matt Yaki's recolors. He wasn't even looking at that color guide, was he? He didn't even look at that. Which is fine. The original colorist did, and Matt Yaki made it better. Alright, we got the Maximum Edition #1 cover, which is right here. Also by Matt Yaki. You get some Combat trading card art. Photon trading card art by Liefeld. I think these were in the original Youngblood #1, right? Weren't they in? They were like in the saddle stitch, I believe. Some layouts, some thumbnails. Rob would call some of these full pencils. They're not. Thumbnail 52-53. That's a really cool layout. These are newer sketches. I think this is when he was kind of redesigning the team for what would it be, like the Mark Millar run of one issue that he did. The one, and then there's a bootleg of 2. Comics are crazy, guys. They're crazy. Hope you enjoyed this. Yeah, Rob Liefeld, Youngblood, remastered, recolored, Matt Yaki. He's a beast. Pick it up if you can.